Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee of the Lord, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, entitled Creation, Chapter 9, Passing of Bhismadev, text number 31. Vishuddhaya dharanaya hata subhas Tad ikshaya vasugata yuddhasramaha Nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas Tushtavajanyam vishrujan janardanam Vishuddhaya dharanaya hata subhas Tadikshaya vasugata yuddhasramaha Nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas Tushtavajanyam vishrujan janardanam Vishuddhaya dharanaya hata subhas Tadikshaya vasugata yuddhasramaha Nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas Tushtavajanyam vishrujan janardanam Vishuddhaya dharanaya hata subhas Tadikshaya vasugata yuddhasramaha Nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas Tushtavajanyam vishrujan janardanam Vishuddhaya dharanaya hata subhas Tadikshaya vasugata hridasramaha Nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas Tushtavajanyam vishrujan janardanam Vishuddhaya dharanaya hata subhas Tadikshaya vasugata yuddhasramaha Nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas Mataji. Tushtabhajanyam Vishrijan Janardana Visuddhaya, by purified. Dharanaya, meditation. Hata Asubhaha, one who has minimized the inauspicious qualities of material existence. Tat, him. Ikshaya, by looking on. Eva, simply. Asu, immediately. Gata, having gone away. Yuddha, from the arrows. Shramaha, fatigue. Nivritta, being stopped. Sarva, all. Indriya, senses. Vritti, activities. Bibhramaha, being widely engaged. Tushtava, he prayed. Janyam, the material tabernacle. Vishrajan, while quitting. Janardanam, to the controller of the living beings. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. By pure meditation, looking at Lord Shri Krishna, he at once was freed from all material inauspiciousness and was relieved of all bodily pains caused by the arrow wounds. Thus all the external activities of his senses at once stopped, and he prayed transcendently to the controller of all living beings while quitting his material body. Translation with repetition. By pure meditation, looking at Lord Shri Krishna, he at once was freed from all material inauspiciousness and was relieved of all bodily pains caused by the arrow wounds. Thus all the external activities of his senses at once stopped, and he prayed transcendently to the controller of all living beings while quitting his material body. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The material body is a gift of the material energy, technically called illusion. Identification with the material body is due to forgetfulness of our eternal relationship with the Lord. For a pure devotee of the Lord like Bhismadev, this illusion was at once removed as soon as the Lord arrived. Lord Krishna is like the sun, and the illusory external material energy is like darkness. In the presence of the sun, there is no possibility that darkness can stand. Therefore, just on the arrival of Lord Krishna, all material contamination was completely removed, and Bhismadev was thus able to be transcendently situated by stopping the activities of the impure senses in collaboration with matter. The soul is originally pure, and so also the senses. By material contamination, the senses assume the role of imperfection and impurity. By revival of contact with the Supreme Pure, Lord Krishna, the senses again become freed from material contaminations. Bhismadev attained all these transcendental conditions prior to his leaving the material body because of the Lord's presence. The Lord is the controller and benefactor of all living beings. That is the verdict of all the Vedas. He is the supreme eternity and living entity amongst all eternal living beings, and he alone provides all the necessities for all kinds of living beings. Thus, he provided all facilities to fulfill the transcendental desires of his great devotee Bhismadev, who prayed as follows. Thus ends the wonderful transcendental Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this is the glorious departure of Bhismadev, which we have been meditating, and this particular verse today is very, very powerful, very nice verse. Let's understand what this verse is. It says, Visuddhaya dharanaya hata subhas tadikshaya vasugata yuddha shramaha nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas tushtavajanyam visrijan janardanam. The words which are used here are extremely powerful. Who's using these words? Sutta Goswami. Visuddhaya dharanaya hata subhas. Visuddhaya. Suddha is to become pure. Visuddha is Vishesha Rupena Suddha. Completely pure. Visuddhaya dharanaya hata subhas. Hata asubhas. All the inauspiciousness were removed, gone. Dharanaya is also a very powerful, very beautiful word. The verse that we chant, if you ask people generally Bhagavad Gita, of course they will say Karmanya Vadhikaraste. And apart from that, if you remember any verse, then the other verse that comes is Dehinosmin Yatha Dehe Kaumaram Yovanam Jara Tatha Dehantara Praptir Dhiras Tatra Namushyati. So the word Dharana also has a link to that word Dhira, that same Dhrudhatu. And Dhira means sober. So Dharanaya means sobriety. Vishuddhaya, Dharanaya, Hata Subhas. All of us, we come to the temple. Many a times we come to the temple with a desire to pray to the Lord. We have some desires. We want that our prayers to be heard. So here, Bhismadev is also praying. Tushtava. Tushtava is to pray. But before our prayers, we should ensure that our heart is Visuddhaya. Heart is pure. Visuddhaya. Dharanaya. It is filled with sobriety, not inebrities. Hata subhas. It should be free from inauspiciousness. But here, interestingly, when Lord Krishna came, tad ikshayavasu gata yuddha shramaha. There are two things which are mentioned which happened when Lord Krishna came before Bhismadev. What happened? First is hata subhas. All the inauspiciousness went away. And gata yuddha shramaha. All the pains due to the arrows which were shot by Arjuna also vanished. Nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas. And the senses which are always wild, racing towards the sense objects, became calm. Nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas. Tushtavajanyam vishrajan janardanam. And then Tushtava, he offered prayers, Janyam, in this, to become free from this material tabernacle. That's what Prabhupada writes. Vishrajan, while quitting his body, Janardanam, to Janardana. Material tabernacle. This is a complicated mess of birth and death where we are stuck. So this is the verse. It says, by pure meditation, Visuddhaya, looking at Lord Shri Krishna, he at once was freed from all material inauspiciousness, hata subhas, and was relieved of all bodily pains, gata yuddha shramaha, caused by the arrow wounds. Thus all the external activities of his senses at once stopped. Nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas. Nivritta, stopped. And he prayed transcendentally to the controller of all living beings. Tushtava janardanam. Tushtava is to pray. Whom? Whom did he pray? To the controller of all living beings. Who is he? Janardanam. While quitting his material body. Vishrajan. Vishrajan Janyam. From this material tabernacle, from this material world, from this complicated material existence, when he was quitting his body, he offered his prayers. Actually, Srila Prabhupada's purports and Bhagavatam's description are so powerful that if we just meditate on these verses, no matter how many storms in our life which may come today from noon, materially, externally, or internally, all will subside. But unfortunately, when the modes of material nature act on us, when they are troubling us, very difficult to focus. Each word which Prabhupada has used is very powerful. Vishuddhaya, Dharanaya, Hata Asubha, very powerful words. But a conditioned living entity in this material world finds it very difficult to concentrate, very difficult. So my effort in the next 30-40 minutes or maybe 40 minutes to focus on some of these very, very important things which Prabhupada is saying. It's all about our life. It's all about what is going to happen one day. One day for sure we are going to leave our body. Right? There is nobody who can say that I'm not. And how we leave our body is completely dependent how we are living our life. There is no way we can cheat. There is no way we can cheat our intentions, emotions, the impressions which are stored in the mind. They are all there and they come out. That is the final exam at that time of leaving. And Bhishmadev, by his personal example, is exemplifying how to quit our body. How should we leave this material world? Leaving is not a choice. We have to leave. There is nobody who can say, no, I'm a very important man in this world and I have got so many things to accomplish. Give me some more time. It doesn't happen. There's that famous story of probably Alexander when he died or he was about to die, he was requesting and begging the doctor that give me some more time. The doctor said, no, I can't. I don't have anything that I can do to save you. So Alexander the Great had these 3 wishes apparently, where he said to his the senior most general that when I am dead, I am gone. These 3 wishes should be fulfilled. First, my dead body should be carried by, my coffin should be carried by the doctors. Second, all the wealth that I have amassed throughout my life should be distributed on the way to funeral. And the third, my hand should be dangling out of the coffin. So the senior most general with due humility said, all of these wishes will be fulfilled, but may I know the reasons? So the first one that he said is, let my dead body be carried by doctors, not lawyers. Right? So doctors, we all have faith that if anything happens to us, our body, if we go through any ailments, the doctors can cure us. But Alexander wanted to give this message that it is a myth. If that would have been the case, nobody would have died because there are doctors every part of the world, everywhere they are there. And if the doctor could save, we could have just gone and the doctor would save. No. When the time comes to an end, nobody is spared. So the first wish was the dead body should be carried by the doctors. Second was all the wealth that I have amassed throughout my life, it should be distributed on the way to funeral. We think having money with us is the biggest goal. With that we can enjoy, we can have power, we can control, we can do things. But at the end of his life, when Alexander wanted to get some more extra time and he was begging the doctor, I'm ready to give all my wealth. Please give me some more time. It's of no use. And the whole life is gone in pursuit of amassing this wealth, which most of us we do. So that was his second wish. And the third wish was that my hand should be dangling out of the coffin to illustrate the point that when we come to this material world, we come empty-handed, and when we go out of this material world, we go empty-handed. Nothing goes with us. What about my bank balance? Little bit? No. What about my degrees? PhD? Double PhD? No, sir. You have to start from scratch next life. I can't carry it, steal it. Nothing goes. Oh, what about my beautiful wife? Oh, no. Children? Nothing. Empty-handed. Even the ring that is there in the finger, that also they take it out. Even if they don't take it, gets burnt and it'll lie there in the ash. So that is why this rare human form of life which has been given to us, how careful we should be in how we are spending our time. How attentive we should be while we are hearing Bhagavatam. How meditative we should be to see and understand how a Mahajan like Bhismadev is quitting his body. These are so wonderful. So there are some words which are used, which is worth paying attention. The first was dharana. Ashtanga Yoga has got how many limbs? What are they? नहीं, हमको sequentially चाहिए. पहला क्या है? Yama, Niyama, Asana. Last one. Two more are there. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Ashtanga Yoga. 8 limbs. Yama and Niyamas are the do's and don'ts. Asanas are the physical exercises that we do. Pranayama to control the life air, breathing. Pranayama, then comes Dharana. Dharana is to focus, meditate. But here, so Pratyahara is coming before Dharana. Pranayama after that Pratyahara and then Dharana. Pratyahara is to withdraw your senses. But here, Bhismadev looked at Krishna. He was focusing on Krishna and he could withdraw his senses. It's the reverse. So for a devotee, it works in a different way. Actually, the presence of the Lord in our life makes everything auspicious. Everything. But unfortunately, we don't do that properly. We don't know how to do it. Dharana. He meditated on the Lord and all his senses were withdrawn. Beautiful expression Prabhupada uses. We will see that, how he is using that in the purport. So focusing on the Lord, whether it is the beautiful form of the Lord, whether it is the holy name of the Lord, whether it is Bhagavatam, that focus, that meditation, dharana, can relieve us from all the material inebrities, can help us control our senses which are wildly racing. The second word that is used is called Hatha Asubha. Hatha Asubha. Hatha is to kill. Asubha is inauspiciousness. Hatha Asubha. What is the common definition of Subha, auspiciousness in our life? Sandhya ji. Just Subha. What does Subha mean? Auspicious. What does it mean? When do we say, when we have good health, prosperity, job is there, children are obeying, doing well in exams, everything is going as per our plan, that is called Subha. Asubha is exactly opposite. So if you hear somebody is dying, somebody is on deathbed, somebody is diseased, oh, we consider this is very inauspicious. But the real definition of Subha, auspiciousness, we should see from the scriptures. What is exactly auspiciousness? Even death can be auspicious as the way Bhismadev is quitting his body. I've got two definitions of Subha or auspiciousness from Bhagavad Gita. One is, this is the purport of 6.40 Bhagavad Gita, where it is mentioned, the only auspicious activities are those which lead one to liberation, not which gives us promotion, which gives us prosperity, which gives us better ranks in our schools. No. The only auspicious activities are those which lead one to liberation. Because we are contaminated with the material inebrities, stuck here, going through this rot material suffering again and again, again and again. The only auspicious activities are those which lead one to liberation. And in another place, Prabhupada writes, anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. It cannot be contaminated by material reactions, which may be auspicious or inauspicious. Material things, there can be something auspicious, but there can be something also inauspicious. The conception that there are things auspicious and inauspicious in the material world is more or less a mental concoction because there is nothing auspicious in the material world. Arey, there's nothing auspicious? How can you say that? Yes, it's not my views, it's not my saying. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita himself says, Dukkhalayam asaswatam, Nashwaram. This is getting destroyed. Dukkhalayam, full of miseries. Where can you find auspiciousness in this? The conception that there are things auspicious and inauspicious in the material world is more or less a mental concoction because there is nothing auspicious in the material world. Everything is inauspicious because the very material nature is inauspicious. We simply imagine it to be auspicious. Real auspiciousness depends on activities in Krishna consciousness, in full devotion and service. Real auspiciousness lies this. And we will try to analyze that a little bit, how Visuddhaya and what is the real auspiciousness. There is another thing which is mentioned here is that the pain of Bhismadev was completely relieved by having the darshan of the Lord. I have heard or I have seen that in some of the hospitals, the patients, they will have a TV. Suppose you are fond of watching some movie or watching a match or watching some live concert. Maybe you are going through the pain, but when you watch that, maybe you will be relieved of that. So how is it any different from seeing the Lord, where it is mentioned just because he saw the Lord, he became free from all the pains. By the way, what kind of pain it is? Imagine if I bring a pin to you and prick you. Oh, mobile wale. Prick karunga agar. Kya karunga prick? Pin. What will happen? It will hurt. Maybe blood will come out. But I am not poking it fully throughout. Bhismadev is pierced through the arrows, full body. But he was relieved of the pain by having darshan of the Lord. How is it? Or is it exaggeration? There is a verse which comes in the Mukunda Mala Stotra, very nice verse. Karacharana saroje kantiman netramine shramamusi bhujavichi vyakule gadha marge harisarasi bhighaya apiyate jo jalaugham bhavamaru parikhinna kleshamadya tyajami. Karacharana saroje kantiman netramine. Actually, one should really have good understanding of what he is doing. Because we sit in Bhagavatam class, our attention is not there. We come before the Lord, we are thinking of something else. We do devotional service, but our heart is not there. We chant Hare Krishna mantra, but we do it materially. And we lose out on the benefits. So beautiful verse. The meaning of this is, the desert of material existence has exhausted me. Imagine you are in a desert, scorching heat, hot sun, tired, exhausted, fatigued. But today, I will cast aside all troubles by diving into the lake of Lord Hari. Imagine there is a nice swimming pool in the desert, and you dive into that, drinking freely of the abundant waters of his splendor. The lotuses in that lake are his hands and feet, and the fish are his brilliant shining eyes. That lake's water relieves all fatigue and is agitated by the waves his arms create. Its current flows deep beyond fathoming. So not only the pain is subsided, but you get a cooling sensation. You feel some kind of the transcendental happiness. It's also mentioned when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidya badhu jivanam sarvatma snapanam param anandam buddhivardhanam. So, not only the material existence, the difficulties that we are facing comes to an end, but we also experience anandam buddhivardhanam. It's a transcendental nectar we experience. That doesn't come when you watch a football match or a cricket match or some movie or something when you are going through. You may feel, you may forget the pain, but it will not give you that relief which Krishna Gatha can give, or which meditating on Krishna can give, and which is easily accessible if you know the process. There is another thing which is mentioned, that the inauspiciousness, asubha, hatha asubha, inauspiciousness in Bhismadev went away. What kind of inauspiciousness Bhismadev can have? He is a pure devotee of the Lord. We have contaminations in our heart. We have got inauspiciousness filled. Our heart is filled with that. What kind of inauspiciousness Bhismadev can have? Now, to understand this, there is we have to see in Bhagavatam, there is another place where when Prahlad Maharaj was sent before Narsimadev, when Narsimadev appeared to, tear apart this Hiranyakashipu, or when he killed, to pacify him, Brahma was, everybody was thinking, who should go and pacify? The Lord was roaring. He has coiled his neck around with the intestines of Hiranyakashipu. Nobody was able to go. And that time they sent this 5-year-old boy, Prahlad, to go in front of Narsimadev. And when he goes in front of Narsimadev, he bows down, he arbhakam, like a rod he falls down, pays his obeisances. And Narsimadev keeps his hand on Prahlad's head. The moment he does that, Bhagavatam mentions all inauspiciousness in Prahlad vanished. The question is, what kind of inauspiciousness Prahlad had? Prahlad was a pure devotee. He was always remembering the Lord. What did he do? So there's a beautiful verse. The translation of that is, by the touch of Lord Narsimadev's hand on Prahlad Maharaj's head, Prahlad was completely freed of all material contaminations and desires, as if he had been thoroughly cleansed. Therefore, he at once became transcendentally situated, and all the symptoms of ecstasy become manifest in his body. His heart filled with love and his eyes with tears, and thus he was able to completely capture the lotus feet of Lord within the core of his heart. There are so many things which are mentioned in this. But the important thing is, by the touch of Lord Narsimadev's hand on Prahlad's head, Prahlad was completely freed of all material contaminations and desires, as if he had been thoroughly cleansed. Some dirty place, you completely wash it off, completely cleansed. All trace of impurities are gone. Like that it happened when Lord Narsimadev kept his hand on Prahlad. He at once became transcendentally situated, and all the symptoms of ecstasy became manifest in his body. There is one thing which he is doing which we don't do, or we struggle. What is it that he is doing? His heart filled with love and his eyes with tears, and thus he was able to completely capture the lotus feet of the Lord within the core of his heart. This is a clue. We come before the Lord, we have darshan of the Lord. As I was mentioning, we chant the names of the Lord, we hear Bhagavatam class, we don't do it from the heart. His heart filled with love and his eyes with tears, and thus he was able to completely capture the lotus feet of the Lord within the core of his heart. Our darshan lasts for a few seconds. That also you ask, what is the difference between yesterday and today's darshan? No. Only that? What good, at least you noticed that. Anything else? मुकुट भी अलग हो गया है, तेज किरण लग गया है. So many things happen. Right? But sometimes we come just as a formality, we have to bow down, we bow down and go. The difference between a pure devotee and a struggling ordinary devotee who's practicing a sadhaka, they capture the lotus feet of the Lord within the core of his heart. Devotional service has to be done from the heart. It's a heart-to-heart transfer. It's a heart-to-heart exchange. Mechanically, somebody has called me what to do. अभी जाना है, नींद आ रहा है, बुलाया है बैठने के लिए, बैठते हैं, चले जाएंगे. That will not work. We chant the names of the Lord, but very materially, superficially. We don't have faith. We read Bhagavatam, we hear Bhagavatam, but we don't pay attention. Unless we do it from the heart. And when somebody does that from the heart, when he speaks also, that will touch the heart of other person. Because it is from the heart. The Lord is seeing our heart. He's not seeing superficially, मैं मंगल आरती में आया क्या किया? My mind is somewhere else. I'm thinking, when will I run away? That particular time I should be fully focused. Take maximum advantage of that spiritual association. If that doesn't happen, then it's very difficult. There is a verse in Bhagavatam which comes in the 6th canto. It's a very nice verse. It says, Taddarshana dvasta samasta kilvisha swastha malanta karno bhayan munihi Prabruddha bhaktya pranaya shrulochana prahrushta roma namadadi purusham taddarshana dvasta samasta kilvisham. Actually, the darshan of the Lord, maybe you are doing inattentively. No taste, nothing. Mas mandir aaya ho. Even that. Taddarshana dvasta samasta kilvisha. It destroys all kinds of inauspiciousness. Kilvisha is translated by Prabhupada as all sins. Taddarshana, just darshan. Taddarshana dvasta samasta kilvisha. Swastha malanta karano. Anta karana becomes swastha. Swastha is healthy. Amala, free from contaminations. Taddarshana dvasta samasta kilvisha. Swastha amala anta karano. Bhayan muni, a person becomes silent. What can I say? My Lord, my controller, the best well-wisher, my protector is standing before me, and I have no taste. I'm still struggling in this material world. I'm trying to find out where is the happiness in this material world. When I very well know, Bhagavad Gita says that it is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. There is no happiness. But I'm busy searching. But my Lord is standing before me. I'm such a wretched, sinful person, so insignificant person. I don't understand the importance of the Lord being present in my life. And then a person becomes silent. Silent means he doesn't speak. Silent means he speaks only Krishna Katha. Bhayan Munihi, Prabruddha Bhaktya Pranaya Shrulochana. Then, if you are really situated, if it is a heart-to-heart connection, there will be tears in the eyes. And Prahrushta Roma Namadadi Purusham. With great humility, with great reverence, one will bow down before the Lord. That's the effect of seeing the darshan of the Lord. Same holds true if when we are chanting, the Lord has personally agreed to dance in our tongue, dance before our tongue. Lord has agreed to come. He's right there in our tongue. And how nicely we can take advantage of Lord's presence in our life. But we don't. So in the purport is filled with jewels. We will see a little bit. The material body is a gift of the material energy, technically called illusion. See how Prabhupada is writing. These are all written in Radha Damodar temple, way back when ISKCON was established. Prabhupada is there in Vrindavan in 1963-64 when he is writing this. He is telling the material body is a gift of the material energy, technically called illusion. Technically. What does it mean? What is illusion? Material body is a gift of the material energy, technically called illusion. Material body is an illusion. Why? Huh? What is the problem with that? Very good. No, that's what it is. No. No. What is the illusion? The next line Prabhupada clarifies. Identification with the material body is due to forgetfulness of our eternal relationship with Lord. What is the illusion? The illusion is I'm thinking my body, but the illusion, that is not the illusion. The illusion is because I'm identifying with the body because of my forgetfulness of my relationship with the Lord. I am Lord's. Mamevamsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatan. I am His eternal part and parcel. But I've forgotten that. That forgetfulness makes me identify with the body. That is the illusion. And the body will perish. For a pure devotee of the Lord like Bhismadev, this illusion was at once removed as soon as the Lord arrived. There is a verse that comes in Bhagavatam, gets repeated in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is also the Chaturshloki, the second one, where Krishna says, Rite artham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyadatmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. Rite is exception, without. Rite artham yat pratiyeta. Without Krishna, if we think anything to be of value, that is called illusion. Rite artham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani. Without in relationship to me, if you find something very attractive or of importance or it is of value, mind you, this is illusion. Rite artham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyadatmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. Tad vidyadatmano mayam. This is considered to be illusion. Yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. Yatha bhaso. Yatha bhaso means there is a reflection and there is a tama, there is an ignorance. So, and he's telling that you should know this. O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Very, very important verse. What is this trying to say? I'll give you an example. Please pay attention. Some people came together and they decided that they would rob a bank. So they were having a conference how to rob the bank. And they found out one particular time when the security is less alert, the CCTV cameras are not focusing, customers are less, people are almost like lunchtime or something on a particular day when even the employees are a little relaxed. That is the ideal time to go and rob the bank. And they planned meticulously who will go when, what time, whom to attack, how to run away. Everything was meticulously planned. And they went and they robbed the bank. And they robbed the bank and they came back and they said they got 1 crore rupees. And then they came back and they came and then they were discussing. There were 2 of them in that in a group of 20, and these 2 were little powerful people. They were saying, no, we should distribute it like this, equally, but not equally. There are some of us who have played a bigger role, a more vital role. We should get more shares. Not everybody should get equal shares. They were continuing with this kind of battle and arguments. They couldn't come to any kind of conclusion. So they decided, okay, let's keep it today. Tomorrow we will come back and we will resume this discussion, dialogue. What will happen? How should we distribute this? They went back. They came back. And they saw that they were having this constant battle and exchange of opinions. Suddenly one person raised, but what about women? There are women also in this group. They should also get fair share. They should not be getting any less. Women rights are getting violated. And somebody says, no, there are 2 children also. Children also should be given their rights. Children rights should be protected. And that continued for a few more days. Then they thought, okay, let's have 4 people amongst us who will be the subcommittee, and they will decide, they will weigh the pros and cons, and they'll come up with something by which we can distribute this. I'm just making up one story, but the point is, we all do the same thing in this material world, trying to distribute something which doesn't belong to us. This land, this property, this house, this husband, this wife, all these things are temporary. It has only meaning if it is in relationship with the Lord. Whole life we are trying to, mera property hai, pakdo. Kiska property? Which property is yours? Which house? Which husband, which wife will go with us? Because we've forgotten our relationship with Krishna. Prabhupada says in one place, a PhD is like a 00. Any PhDs here? Pursuing PhDs? Doing gotten PhD. PhDs are 00s. If you feel bad, don't worry. Nobel Prize winners are 70s. And there are more, whoever, some bigger scientists or something who have got double Nobel Prize or anything like that, they are 10 zeros of no value. But if you add 1 before those zeros, that has value. 1,000, 1 billion, 1 million. When we add Krishna in our life, it has meaning. Otherwise, everything in this material world is temporary, illusory, illusion. Only when we add, everything belongs to Him. And when we see even our family members, relatives, if we can engage them in Krishna service, He has come by the will of providence. I didn't choose this kind of a boy to come or a girl to come. It has come. The soul in that body has come by some will of providence. If I can inspire to take up Krishna consciousness for that boy or girl, that is the best way. Because it's all Krishna's, it's given by Him. Rite artham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyadatmano mayam yatha bhaso yathatam. This is called the relative truth. There is something called absolute truth, and there is something called relative truth. This material world is relative truth. Yes, he's my son. Yes, I should have affection. True. And he's my father. I should respect. True. But who's the father of this father? Who's the ultimate father? Ultimate father is Krishna. That is the absolute truth. Chanchalpati Prabhu gives that example when he was in hostel. He was staying in the hostel, And there used to be those days money orders, because there was no online bank transactions and all. And the money order has come, and the postman will come on a particular date where everybody will rush that postman has come, and he'll call out the names, so and so, whatever, Chaitanya Ruhatia, then Manish Sinha, Kodwani brothers. They'll all run, and then they'll take the respective money sent by their parents. They will be very happy. They'll be able to pay their semester fees, whatever the mess thing, all will be taken care. And each one of them, after having received the money from the postman, they will bow down. Oh, postman, you are so great. You have given us the money because of which we got saved. Our semester money we could pay. We could pay our mess money. We could eat now. Is that the right thing to do? Actually, their parents, their relatives sitting somewhere in their native place, they have sent it, and the money has come. Like that, in our life also, this is relative truth. Yes, he is my father, he is my mother, he's my mother, he is my brother. All these things are true, relative, only temporary. Only when we see it in relationship with Krishna, it has a real meaning. Otherwise, it is Maya. Rite-artham. So Maya doesn't mean that, okay, all Maya, I'll give up. No. No, sir. That is not the real meaning. The meaning is whatever we have, whatever resources we've been given, we should use it for Krishna's service. That is the real knowledge. I shouldn't give up something just for the sake of giving. No, I should not give up just like that. I should use everything that is given to me in Krishna's service. Because we are ultimately his part and parcel. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje. When we engage in devotional service, all the material resources which are given, we become yenatma suprasidati, completely satisfied. So here Krishna is telling tad vidyad, you should know relative truth. You know about absolute truth, but without knowing the relative truth, absolute truth has no meaning. So you must know that, and know that it is my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. What does this mean? The reflection which appears to be in darkness. So yesterday we were reading that 15th chapter, first verse. It says, this material world can be compared with an inverted banyan tree. Where do you see an inverted banyan tree? Inverted tree, it is only possible when you are there next to a lake or a water body. The reflection of the tree can come on that as an inverted tree. And it's an inverted banyan tree. Banyan tree is so complicated. Which is the branch, which is the roots, which is what? A huge tree. Similarly, this material world where we are stuck is compared to this inverted banyan tree, because we are looking busy trying to gratify our senses. Where is this? How will I? This fruit is good, this is not bad, but I'm trying. I'm still not giving up. No. In this life, maybe in that body, maybe I'll go for this, but I'll be happy in this material world. Not possible. And we are stuck in that complicated banyan tree. The real, like the inverted, if the reflection is there in the water of a mango tree, real mangoes are there in the tree. But people are busy searching in this water body. Where is the mango? That looks like a nice ripe mango. Go for that. And if you get tired, there are people who are sitting on the shore saying that 10 ways to find mangoes in this material world. Come and learn from me, and then again go and dive in. That is where a spiritual master comes and lifts one person's head and says, hey, see, look at that mango, you are searching for that. It is there in that place. It is there in the spiritual world, not here. That reflection is only appearing here, which is in darkness. That is called Maya, illusion. Prabhupada's first sentence is, it is a gift. This body is a gift of the material energy, technically called illusion. Identification with the material body is due to forgetfulness of our eternal relationship with. We've forgotten that relationship. And we are searching here. Sat, Chit and Ananda, that is our constitutional position. But because of this body, we're trying to be Sat in this material world, in this body, not possible. Chit, free from all kinds of illusions, not possible. Ananda, we're looking for bliss, we're not finding. For a pure devotee of the Lord like Bhismadev, this illusion was at once removed as soon as the Lord arrived. Lord Krishna is like the sun, and the illusory external material energy is like darkness. Krishna, Surya, Sama, Maya, Hai, Andhakar. Yes, there is darkness, but darkness is just absence of light. That means light is also there. The moment you bring light like Krishna in your life, easiest way is by chanting the names of the Lord. Full attention. Bring that Krishna, the Surya of Krishna, which Prabhu says, Madhubani, bring that Surya of Krishna in your life and see how can the inauspiciousness remain in your life. Cannot remain. And the illusory external material energy is like darkness. In the presence of the sun, there is no possibility that darkness can stand. Therefore, just on the arrival of Lord Krishna, all material contamination was completely removed, and Bhismadev was thus able to transcendentally situated by stopping the activities of the impure senses in collaboration with matter. This particular line is a very interesting thing. Bhismadev was thus able to transcendentally be situated by stopping the activities of the impure senses in collaboration with the matter. There is a collaboration going on between senses and matter. The senses are per se, they are not bad. But when the senses are going after matter to enjoy this, there is a collaboration which is going on. That was stopped. Transcendentally situated by stopping the activities of the impure senses in collaboration with the mind. Actually, each word is very powerful in this verse. Similarly, in our life also, we collaborate in so many ways. इधर बैठे हैं, but मन कर रहा है कहाँ कहीं भागूं, कहीं जाके नाचूं, गाऊं, कुछ करूं, कहीं खाऊं, गंदा चीज़ देखूं, सुनूं कुछ ऐसे ही. This is what our senses are driving us madly. Vishayan Indriyascharan, what is that? Raga Dvesha Vimuktestu Vishayan Indriyascharan. What is the next line? Atma Vasair Vidhyatma Prasadam Adhigachati. One has to regulate the senses by the four regulative principles and take the regulative principles of it. Only when we regulate the senses can we purify the senses and experience the transcendental bliss. Otherwise, no. The more we allow the senses to go astray, the more we allow the senses to follow its path, the more we get victims of it. The more we don't get attracted towards it. That control is required. It's not like, you starve yourself. No, your senses are hankering after seeing some beautiful object. Come and stand before the deities, observe. Meditate on each finer aspect. There is a devotee in our temple in Bangalore. If you show him any photo of any deities, any deities in the world, he'll tell you, this is Radha Vrindavan Chandra, this is Radha Londoneshwara, this is Rukmini Dwarikades, Los Angeles, this is Radha Pariseswara. All he knows. We show deity photos, like if we show Radha Madhav, and then maybe after that immediately Radha Damodar, will be say, "Kaun hai bhai? Ye kiska hai?" That attention is needed. You want to see beautiful form, look at that. You want to hear beautiful thing, hear Krishna Katha, hear the holy names of the Lord. You want to taste palatable thing, take Krishna Prasadam, don't take anything else. Bhismadev was thus able to transcendentally situated by stopping the activities of the impure senses in collaboration with the matter. The soul is originally pure, and so also the senses. By material contamination, the senses assume the role of imperfection and impurity. By revival of contact with the Supreme Pure, Lord Krishna, the senses again become freed from material contaminations. Bhismadev attained all these transcendental conditions prior to his leaving the material body because of the Lord's presence. So important. Bring Lord in your lives. So easy it is. And do it from the heart, not mechanically, not materially. The Lord is the controller and benefactor of all living beings. This is the verdict of all the Vedas. He is the supreme entity and living entity amongst all eternal living beings. Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam. Eko Bahudam, Yo Vidadhati Kama. He is the only one, he is the supreme eternity, and he is the living entity amongst all eternal living beings. And he is the one who is maintaining. And he alone provides all the necessities for all kinds of living beings. Thus, he provided all facilities to fulfill the transcendental desires of his great devotee Bhismadev. The last line is so important. So important. Thus, he provided all facilities to fulfill the transcendental desires of his great devotee. Bhismadev's life, if you see, he had to serve the Kurus whom he never liked. Because he had taken that vow to serve, he served. He didn't get married. He had to fight against the Pandavas, whom he knew as the pure devotees of the Lord. He had to raise weapon against Krishna. Saveda dhatu padabimparasya duranta viryasya rathanga pane yo mayaya santatayanu bhajeta tatpada saroja gandham rathanga pane. Ratha anga. The limb of the Ratha or chariot is the wheel which Krishna carried in his pani, in his hands, and rushed towards Bhismadev. He had to fight. He had to go through so many difficult situations. Never ever complained. Not even when Krishna is there. My God, how much struggle I have gone through. What was it for? Never did that. In our life, little this thing comes, oh, मेरे को बोल दिया, मेरे घर में ये हो गया, आज इतना problem हो गया. And we don't do devotional service. Krishna is so kind. He gives all facilities to fulfill the transcendental desires of his devotee. If we are sincere, if we are serious, then the third S that will come is we will become simple. And if we are simple, then we will become satisfied. And if we are satisfied, at the time of death, the Lord will give us all transcendental facilities to remember him. This is what, thus he provided all facilities to fulfill the transcendental desires of his great devotee Bhismadev, who prayed as follows. His prayers are so glorious, so amazing, which we will see in the next class. We'll stop here and see if you have any questions or comments. Thinking and? Where did that come from? No. Meditation is with focus, dharana. So when you are absorbed in something, like they say, that state of, what do they say that? Trance, yeah, whatever. They go to a state of trance. Somebody is also working or doing something fully absorbed. Meditation is like that. He fully focused his attention, his senses and mind in Krishna. Thinking is more weaker. I mean, you can think of anybody in life. But meditation is consciously focused, fully focused. That's meditation. They will have the I, but that I will not be false ego, that will be the real ego. False ego is right now where I'm thinking I'm Indian, I'm male, I'm an engineer, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, and I'm meant to enjoy this material world. I've been given some facilities. I'll use those facilities for enjoying the material world. That's the false ego. The real ego is I'm a servant of Krishna. I'm a spirit soul, I'm his part. I'm meant to serve him. Like the hand, which is connected to the body, now I could lift my hand because I desired to lift it. It is meant to serve me. The hand doesn't have an independent existence. If it is cut and it is lying there, what's the value of this? It's just matter. So when one understands that I'm Krishna's, I'm meant to serve him, that's the real ego. And there is no question of any material body or this, the suffering which comes because of birth, death, old age and disease at that time. You're free and there's no time and you're eternally happily engaged in devotional service to the Lord. The reason for going back to the spiritual world there should be two things. One is the understanding or conviction that this material world is a horrible place. That is the first thing. But also that, the spiritual world is an amazing place. Both impetus should be there. It should not be only like, I just want to escape this. That's not the only reason why we are going. No, in spiritual world, you can enjoy that, transcendental ecstasy and bliss in association with the Lord, each one of us. Why we are hankering for this happiness, which is so paltry, so tiny, so insignificant in this material world, working so hard when it is available in the spiritual world. What decides? So mind is a storehouse or a repository of all the impressions of our past activities. Right? Whatever you have done, not only in this life, and whatever you are doing in your past life, everything is stored in that mind. And the biggest point is that in the 8.6 purport, in the verse, not 8.6, 15.6, where Krishna says, Natad bhasayato suryo na sasanko no pavakaha yadgatva na nivartante tadhama paramamam. In that, the purport, third paragraph, Prabhupada is saying, We should be captivated by the descriptions of the spiritual world. Right now, we are captivated by different things of material world. Some movie, some new thing is new web series, series 2, what is season 2, season 3, or IPL, and something, or some robotics. I have to achieve this. That captivates us. But we should be captivated by the description of the spiritual world. We should have a strong, the exact. One should be captivated by this information. He should desire to transfer himself to that eternal world and extricate himself from this false reflection of reality. Our attention should go there. Where the attention goes, the consciousness follows. So imagine, what is attention? If there is a bulb and you cover it with a yellow film, okay, then the whole thing becomes yellow. That yellow film doesn't have any existence on its own, but it can transform that white bulb to yellow light. Like that, our attention, which is contaminated currently, and it goes to all other places other than Krishna, if it comes to Krishna, that attention is in itself doesn't have any existence, but we can divert that attention to Krishna. And we should be captivated by this. I should be convinced, I should be captivated by this. I should have a strong desire. One place Prabhupada says, most of us, we are not going back home, back to Godhead, because our desire to go back home is very weak. It's also one of the desires. We have so many desires. I want to become a robotic man, or whatever, computer science guy. And I want to become a rich man. And one of the desires also, agar hua to dekhenge, we'll also go back home, back to Godhead. This should be the only desire. I should be captivated by that. Strong desire. That's what it is. I've been cheated solidly in this material world for not just this life, many lifetimes. I should become serious. That should be the goal. Does that answer? Correct. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Starts with our mind. Mind is when the transformation of body happens from one gross body to another, the soul, along with the subtle body, which is mind, intelligence, false ego, carries the conception of life from one body to another. Like the air which carries the aroma, it can carry the aroma of a filthy place, it can carry the aroma of a fragrant garden. Air per se is not bad, but it is carrying. Similarly, the subtle body carries all the impressions, the conception of life from one body to another, and this continues, this process. Pashyanti jnana chakshu, vimudha nanu pashyanti, pashyanti jnana. A person who is vimudha, like all of us, we don't see the transmigration of body. But it is happening every day, every moment we are changing our body. But jnana chakshu, when you have the eyes of knowledge, you can see this. And the conception of life is being transferred from one life to another, one body to another, and it continues. Unless and until we are completely pure. And that is possible by engaging the mind in Krishna service, by bringing that spiritual thing in your life. Actually, there is one place where Prabhupada says, where is it? I'm not able to recollect where it is. In a purport, Prabhupada says, the more, we are trying to, there is a gap now to go to the spiritual platform. We are in the material platform, we are not able to go. But the more we are trying to endeavor, the more we are trying to bring Krishna to our life, or bringing the spiritual thing in our lives, the more we are getting close to that spiritual platform. So it is in our hands. Any spiritual activity that we are doing, whether it is Mangalarti, whether it is hearing, whether it is chanting, whether it is devotional service, it should be done from the heart. time and again that gets, that concept gets eroded, and we just do it mechanically, जैसे तैसे करके भाग जाते हैं. That's not going to help us. We'll stop here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.